Today we're going to be talking about Byblis and Lidica. Basically, blooming Lidica. She will be probably announced on Wednesday, and she'll be released on Wednesday as well. I'm going to be assuming, because obviously since Byblis is here, Lidica should come as well, right? It'd be extremely weird if she doesn't, but again, she should be coming. Now, let's get right into it. So in terms of Byblis, I'm going to say right off the bat, these are limited characters. You should 100% summon for them, because just in case if they get buffed, EE down the road, you really want to get them, because usually by how long it takes for them to really release a rerun of a limited unit, it takes a while, right? So in terms of Byblis, so there was two builds for Byblis. Mine is currently ungeared because I never use her, but there is a couple builds for her. One was the attack. There's a lot of attack on her, some bulk, no crit chance, just full attack, and basically with Bellona artifact. Now in terms of stats you're asking, I'm going to say maybe like 3.5k attack, as much HP as you can, as much defense as you can, and of course just effectiveness. Don't really need anything else. Effectiveness you can kind of cut off as well, because you don't really need effectiveness with this type of build, because you have Byblis, and this is going to increase her damage. Effectiveness doesn't really do anything for her. Of course you do get decrease defense, you have decreased hit chance, and you do have a silence. So again, you could give her some effectiveness if you want with the attack build. Again, the attack build is pretty much versus Harsetti, because actually not Harsetti, versus anyone that really does have counter attack, which obviously there's a lot of users that do counter. So again, she was mainly used versus Landy, but even versus Landy, she really wasn't that good. So right now, I'm not too sure how Byblis is actually played. Again, the other build-wise is by HP, defense, ER, and effectiveness. 200 speedish around there. That is the other build for Byblis. Again, mine is unbuilt because I don't really use her. I don't really care for this character. I think she needs a little buff or a better artifact to really go with her. I just think she needs a little buff, in my honest opinion. She's kind of hard to really use. Now, if her passive was extra attacks, dual attacks, and all that, better. But a counter attack, not that great. It's really not that great. So again, she needs some help. I mean, I guess Mort as well, I guess. But Mort can just blow her up. But again, I don't really see her being used that much. I do think she's okay, though. I don't think she's that bad. I don't think she's the worst character ever, but I don't think she's the best character ever. So, but again, well, yeah, I don't think she's the worst character ever. She isn't the best either. But again, she does need some love, in my opinion. You could make her work. Just keep in mind, I think the bulkier build is better with effectiveness and ER. That's just my opinion. About 100 effectiveness and 100 ER. Now, in terms of blooming Lidica is actually pretty decent. She did get a buff, hence why I did say you kind of want something for these characters just in case they do get a buff. Obviously, Byblis, I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, on release, Byblis got a buff. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure she did. But let's get right into it. So, Blooming Lidica got a buff recently about giving her 50% free pen on her S3. Now, it's pretty good if you're not versus Harsetti. If you are versus Harsetti, she's kind of just there for the pushback and the skill nullifier. That's really about it. What I mean by when I mean by pushback, it is basically having her artifact. That's really about it. Again, it's not too bad. I do like this character a lot. I think she's pretty damn good. I'm not really using her right now currently. Her gimmick is basically if you land a debuff, you proc her S2. So say you're using Zeo, right? Zeo S3s and he silences. So basically, if he silences, he is going to trigger her passive, which basically means attacks our enemies, decrease buff durations by 1, and making them unable to be buffed for 2 turns. Very, very good. But you have to proc the debuff. So if Zeo doesn't proc silence, it's over. She ain't moving. Neither is this unbuffable. So basically, she's just there for nothing. Because her main goal is going to be the unbuffable and pushback, in my opinion. She does have a skill no and some decent damage on S3, and she does stun S1, and this does increase effect chance to 100% with a soul burn. But again, I think she's actually it's very RNG-ish, right? Because you need to proc a debuff. And to proc a debuff, there's always 15% that something's going to happen. So, you have to be extremely careful. Again, I do like her as a character. I guess she should be coming out next week, or within the next couple of days on Wednesday, or they push her back a week, then it's probably going to be next week. But again, I think she's actually phenomenal. of a character. I think she's pretty damn good. In terms of all the Lidicas, I think she's the best Lidica. Lidica is still good. Don't get me wrong. I love Lidica still. But I think you kind of really need to pre-ban a certain way to play around with Lidica right now, especially thanks to Ilinov and some other stuff. Before Ilinov existed, yes, I would definitely say Lidica was the best one. But Lidica, in current age, in my opinion, right now, with how all the units released currently, I think Lidica is better. Bloom Lidica, I think she's worth it. Is she worth plus 15? Honestly, she doesn't really need Molagora. So her DPS is extremely low. I think she's a low value Molagora unit. Really, ideally, the ones that you really want to max is going to be her S3. Because obviously all her damage is inside the S3. S1, you could go all the way to plus 3 for the 10% effect chance, but let's be realistic here. 30% to 40%, kind of useless. That's up to you. Again, you could just sober for 10 souls at 100%. Might as well do that. And then lastly is going to be her passive, which her passive only increases damage. So again, doesn't really need Molagora. Again, I just think her S3 needs Molagora. That's just me personally. I plus 15 her because I have more Galore and I like her and I'm a simp for her. Next, Byblis. Same thing with Byblis. I don't think she really needs Molagora. If anything, it's going to be her S3 to -1 turn, of course. And then it is going to be her passive. So the passive does increase her chance to proc defense break. And then S1, it's a silence. It's up to you. If you really want to max it out or not. Same thing as Bloom Lidica. If you sober in the S1, it is going to be 100% chance. It's not ignore ER. It's just 100% chance. And you can still get 50% resistant. But again, in terms of these characters, this is a short little video just talking about how good they are currently. Again, Byblis, in my opinion, not that great. She needs some work. Bloom Lidica, I think she still has a place. Especially if you are a cleaver, she is extremely good. Again, she is going to be coming out on Wednesday or the following week. I do recommend picking up her artifact because even at plus 15, her artifact is pretty much perfect. I'm going to buy that. It's going to be about plus 24. It increases effectiveness by percentage, and then after extra attack, decreases common randomness of the target by 17%. Again, very, very good. I do recommend buying this artifact. Bib's artifact, on the other hand, I think her artifact kind of needs to be maxed out. Even at maxed out, it's not that great, but I do recommend still picking it up. I think it's iffy. It's very, very icky because it's only a 60% chance to inflict a random debuff, but you get about 100% chance to get stealth for 1 turn. So it's kind of, I wish it was 100% chance to inflict a random debuff. If that was 100%, that would be absolutely amazing. Then I think it's definitely worth picking up. But honestly, you don't really need it. I really don't think you need this. But if you do have it on her, there's a chance whenever there's a counterattack, she will be able to either land decreased attack, decreased speed, unhealable, or silence. They are very, very good debuffs. Don't get me wrong. But 60% chance to proc it, be careful with it, right? Because you could definitely lose off of this 100%. But other than that, don't think it's watch the video. If you have any questions, let me know down below, and I will see you guys later on. Peace out.